Hi, my name is Karen Brownlee, and I'm with the North Suburban YMCA. I am here today to take you through a series of exercises to improve your balance. So welcome to the Improve Your Balance class from my laundry room. It's not a huge space, but it's a space that's quiet, that I can talk to you from and demonstrate exercises from so that you can improve your balance. So to get started, we're going to do a little warm-up. We're going to march in place. I have a dining room chair with me, and I want you to have some kind of a chair. I also have a dryer next to me. You could have a table, a countertop. You don't have to have things on either side, but certainly something on one side of you so that if you lose your balance, you have that to hold on to. If your chair is flimsy, find a more solid surface to use. Whatever works for you to keep you safe as you go through these exercises. So we're just warming up our body. We're doing a little march in place, and now we're going to turn it into a little step touch. So you'll go from side to side. If any of these exercises don't feel good to you or don't work for you, by all means, do not do them. Let's say side to side bothers your knees, then you're going to continue to march in place. You're going to choose what's best for you today in your workout with me. So I'm step touching, but again, if that doesn't work for you, you do not have to do it. All right. So improving your balance really takes practice. And the more you practice these exercises, the better your balance will become. I've had students tell me time and again, oh, Karen, that thing we did in class. In fact, one of my students, Marlene, told me yesterday she tried the stop it exercise, not intentionally, and didn't fall. So go Marlene, go you. Practice these exercises when you can. Now we're going to turn it into just a little, you're switching your weight from one foot to the other and tapping your toes down. Can you see that? Tap your toes, tap your toes. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down. Your core is engaged, or we call it your belly tight. Now we're going to bring those toes out in front of you some. If this starts to affect your balance, hold on to your chair or your table or your countertop. It could be the back of a couch. And you're going to just tap in front of you now. Now I want you to tap directly in front of you. Try to keep your hips level as you do this. We are warming up to get our joints moving. You can be beside your chair or you could be facing your chair. This works too. As long as you're standing straight. I don't want you so far away from your chair that you have to lean over. But if you have a chair, you could reach in between those rungs or on either side of the rungs, whatever's comfortable for you. If you have a solid surface that doesn't give you a lot of room to tap in front, then try doing it sideways. We're going to change it now, and we're going to tap back. Now, this tends to make people lean forward, so I want you to try to stand as straight as you can, using your glutes to pull your leg behind you. Lots of people just want to bend their knee, but I want you to bring it from the hip joint, using your glute muscles. You're still using your hamstring to do this, which is what you would do if you just bent your knee. But we are working on staying straight and using our glute, because most of us spend most of our time, you could also do this exercise reaching back and holding onto your chair from the side. I'm going to move my chair up a little bit. So either one of those works, as long as you feel safe and stable. And please only do things in class that make you feel safe and stable. All right, now what I'd like you to do is just give me a little forward and a little backward walking. And if walking backward is scary for you or doesn't feel good to you, guess what? You get to turn around and do forward again. But if you have a good solid surface or surfaces, you could have something on either side where you can walk forward and backward, just a little bit forward and backward. We spend all of our time walking doing it forward, so I'm going to ask you to try doing a little bit of backward, but as long as you're holding on to something. Not if you feel unsafe, not if you feel unstable. Then I want you to just go forward, turn around, and go forward again. So you pick what's going to be best for you. Now what I'd like you to do is to turn towards your chair or towards your countertop and walk sideways. Just 2 steps in either direction. It doesn't have to be big. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. I want your core engaged throughout every exercise that you do in class today. Good. And if anything hurts or you get tired of doing it before I stop, you get to stop and take a break should you need it. All right, the next exercise that we're going to do, you're going to take one foot and tap it across in front of the other foot and then behind it. In front and behind, and in front and behind. So you're working on balancing on this leg. You could hold on to 2 apparatuses. You could hold on to 1. You could do it facing, so you're tapping in front and behind. The leg that you're standing on has a soft knee. What do I mean by that? I mean I don't want it locked in place. I don't want it locked. I want a slight bend in it. And then I want you to start thinking about the 4 corners on the bottom of the foot that you're standing on. And I want you to try to evenly distribute your weight on those 4 corners. Think of a corner on either side of the ball of your foot and a corner on either side of the heel of your foot. Now let's switch legs. So now you're going to stand on the other leg and tap in front and behind, and in front and behind, just like that. The leg you're standing on has a soft knee. Move up just a bit so you can see it a little bit better. A soft knee, tapping in front and behind. And again, you could still be doing it beside your chair, or you can do it facing your chair. You can have both hands on something. You could have one hand on something. If you feel really stable and this is something you can do, you could let go and practice it like that. Whatever's going to work for you to challenge your balance and allow you to practice these exercises safely is what I would like you to do. Yes, we've spent a lot of time doing each of these individually, but you can practice them less if that doesn't work for you, or you could practice them more. You could practice these later on today. The beauty of these exercises is you can try them anytime. All right, let's march in place a little bit again, kind of even your legs out. The next exercise we're going to do is a leg extension. Again, holding on to 1 or 2 apparatus for balance help. You know what, I'm going to get rid of the sweatshirt so that they are not dark behind me, because then I think you'll be able to see, pardon me as I disappear, I think you'll be able to see my leg and what it's doing a little bit better. Okay, so the next exercise is a leg extension. I'm actually going to do it facing my chair so you can see what I'm doing. I'm picking my leg up, straightening it out, and putting it back down. So you could be beside your chair so that you are putting your leg out where the seat would be and back down. Now I have long legs, so I would kick the chair, but you could also do it so your leg goes up and under the chair. You do not need to get your leg very high. We are working on balancing on the leg that we're standing on. And then we're moving that other leg to challenge that balance. You're shifting your weight so that your body has to adapt to that leg going in front of you. And if you notice, this is just like you would look when you walk, right? You pick your leg up, you bring it in front of you, you put it down. But we're challenging it to do the same leg over and over again. We're getting some knee strengthening exercises by strengthening our quads. We're making our knee more capable. Think about the 4 corners on the bottom of this foot. 1 corner on either side of the ball of your foot. 1 corner on either side of the heel of your foot. Think about whether or not you roll in or out or forward or backward. Up, out, in, down. Just as many times as you can. Then we do the other leg. This is what it looks like from the side. Up, out, in, down. Try to keep your hips under your shoulders. Make sure the leg that you're standing on has a soft knee. Think about those 4 corners on the bottom of that foot. Going up, out, down, up, out, down, up, out, down. I'm going to turn so you can see it from the front. You're still practicing it unless you've hit fatigue, in which case you get to stop. You can walk around. Remember, you've got a chair. You could sit down and take a break. Try to keep those hips as level as you can. Up, forward, back, down. I see my shirt is a little bit uneven, so it looks like maybe this hip is dropping down, but it's not. It's just my shirt's a little crooked. Think about those 4 corners on that foot. I just felt myself roll to the outside. So I want to keep my weight evenly distributed on those 4 corners. Up, out, in, down. If you lose your balance, you put your foot down or you hold on to your apparatus, but you could hold it the whole time. One thing I would like you to not do is white knuckle it. I don't want you to be squeezing so tightly that you aren't working on balance. Work on balance, fingertips only. If you start to lose your balance, grab it or put your foot down. All right, let's march our legs. The next exercise that we're going to do, we did a little bit of it with a little bit of a tap back earlier, but now we're going to do an arabesque. And what that means is we're going to take that leg and we're going to bring it up behind us as far as we can using that glute. Notice I'm not leaning forward. That's not our objective here. I'm not an ice skater. I'm not coming forward with that leg behind me. I don't have a lot of space, but I don't need it to bring that leg behind me. So now we're engaging the glute and the hamstring, and we're stretching out the front of the hip. The leg you're standing on has a soft knee, and I want you to think about those four corners on the bottom of that foot. Remember, just softly touching your apparatus. You don't need to be white knuckling it. Bring that leg back to neutral and behind you. Neutral and behind you. And let's switch legs. The other leg. It's going back again from the glute. This way now so you can see the closer leg. The leg you're standing on has a soft knee, and you're thinking about those four corners on the bottom of your foot. With your chest up, your shoulders down, your belly tight. Remember that TH sound we talked about? If you were to say think, thank, or thunk, your transverse abdominals engage. Use them. They are the front of your back. They help to keep you stable as you move throughout your day. How does this improve your balance? We're strengthening these muscles back here. You're practicing balancing on this leg. And again, only do as many as you comfortably can. All right, let's march those legs again. Okay, the next exercise that we're going to do is going up on our toes and back down onto flat feet. So now you're going to be working on two corners of the bottoms of those feet. So both feet at the same time, soft knees, chest up, shoulders down, belly tight. Come up onto your toes and go back down. Come up onto your toes and go back down. We're going up and down, over and over again. Once again, not white knuckling. Fingertips on the chair, or on the washing machine, or the countertop, or the back of the couch, or a table. Whatever works for you. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Coming up on those toes. What it looks like from the front, you're just coming up on your toes. You're not shifting your weight. Your knees are soft, which you can't tell from the front, but hopefully you can tell from the side. You're pushing your body up and down using your calf muscles. Okay, now we're going to try raising up our toes and staying on our heels. Now, one thing you'll really need to think about with this exercise is, one, hold on. In fact, if you've got something on either side of you, I'd like you to do it with your hands on each of them, because this can throw you backwards. But the thing I wanted you to think about was not locking your knees. Lots of people lock their knees when they try to bring their toes up. I want you to keep them unlocked. You're still going to have your hips under your shoulders, but your knees are slightly unlocked. And you're raising those toes up and down, working on balance. So now we're working on the other two corners of our feet, and we are strengthening our shin muscles. They are working to pull those toes up. Why is this an important exercise to help with balance? Because lots of people don't pick their feet up enough, and you can get your foot caught on a rug or a discrepancy in the height in the sidewalk square. So it's important for you to pick those feet up. Also, depending on the thickness on the bottom of your shoe. Gym shoes are much thicker now than they used to be. When you wear them, you've got to really think about picking those toes up. This exercise can help you to strengthen the muscles on the front of your shin. And if you think about it, the muscles on the back of our shin, those muscles, your calf muscles, tend to be very big. The muscles on the front are very small. So we want to work on strengthening them. Now what we're going to do is march those legs a little bit. Hopefully you felt that in the front of your shins a little bit. What I want you to do now is you're going to stand on your left leg with a soft knee. You're going to pick up the toes of your right foot and then pick your foot up, put it down, put your toes down, pick up your toes, lift your leg up, put it down, put your toes down, pick up your toes, lift your leg up, down, and down. And we're going to keep going. So toes come up, leg comes up, go down. Toes come up, leg comes up, then we go down. Toes, leg, good. Toes, leg. Two more. Toes, leg, toes, leg. All right, now we're going to do the other side. So soft knee on this leg. Think of the four corners on the bottom of that foot. Lift up your toes on your other foot and then go back down. Toes, leg, back down. Toes, leg. You're challenging your balance here. Down and down. Toes, leg, down, down. Toes, leg, down, down. Toes, leg, Go at a pace that works for you. If I'm going too fast, you do it slower. If I'm going too slow, slow it down. We are working on improving our balance, not doing it as fast as we can. One way to function on trying to strengthen your balance, let's march in place now, is to do things slowly. The quicker you do them, you tend to use momentum. I don't want you to use momentum. I want you to do these slowly so that you are challenging your balance. And while you're marching in place, you can always be holding on. Okay, our next exercise is going to be hip abduction, abduction. So I want you to stand close to one of your apparatus, and then you're going to balance on the leg that's closest to it. So right now I'm using my chair. This exercise brings the other leg out. So if you feel like you're going to be unstable, then I want you to hold on to the more stable apparatus if you have one nearby. I'm going to stand here because you can see my legs better. So softening of the leg I'm standing on. I'm lifting up the leg that's away from my apparatus. I'm bringing it out and in, and out and in, and out and in. I'm just using this for balance. If you need to hold on, though, please hold on. Your belly is tight, your chest is up, your shoulders are down. This knee is soft, going up and down. You're bringing that leg out to the side. Again, we're practicing balancing on this leg by moving this big, long lever out into a different position. Feel free to have your fingertips on something. If you want to challenge yourself, you can lift them off. You want to try to stay as straight as you can. Sometimes you're going to lean. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. I want this tight, chest up, shoulders down. This tight and this tight. Your glute is tight, your thigh is tight, but this knee is soft, and you're thinking about those four corners. All right, let's do the other side. I'm going to turn around because that's how I have room in this space. I've got my apparatus next to me. I've got my knee soft. And I'm going to bring my leg out to the side. Your torso is tall. Your shoulders are down. Your belly is tight. You could also be doing this facing your apparatus. So the leg you're standing on has a soft knee. Your thigh is tight. Your glute is tight. Your abs are tight. Your chest is up. Your shoulders are down. And you're practicing balancing on that stationary leg. And the other leg is just going out to your side and down. Do I have room to do this here? Sure. You don't have to get the leg high. Remember, slower is better. Don't throw that leg up really fast. Slower is better. It doesn't matter how far you bring that leg out. We're working on practicing balance on this leg by changing the dynamic of where we are in space. Think of those four corners on the bottom of this foot. Keep your chest up and your shoulders down. Keep your core engaged. Your thigh engaged and your glute engaged. Let's do 3 more. All right, march those legs again. Okay, those of you who take my class regularly, some of you really hate this exercise, but that's okay. It's still good for you. So you're going to have one foot in front. Let's see if I can get this in space where you can see. Maybe I'm going to turn this way. You're going to have one foot in front and one foot behind. Okay. And then your leg that is back is going to have your heel up. Your feet are hip width apart. Don't try to line them up one in front of the other. Not like that. Like this. Okay? Feet hip width apart. You've got one leg back. That heel is up. Your knee is going to bend. You're going to bend both knees, and you're going to lower yourself down and up. So you can do this facing your apparatus, or you can do it sideways to your apparatus. I'm doing it facing mine so that you can see both of my feet. This foot stays flat the whole time. Notice both knees are bending. Notice I'm staying as straight as I can. You want to keep that torso tall. The tendency might be to lean forward. I want you to try to stand straight as you do this exercise. And as you go up and down, the front leg, that knee, does not go in front of your toe. You've got weight on that front leg. Sometimes people try to do this sort of leaning back. I want you to stand straight. I want you to have a little more weight on this leg. And just go within a range of motion that works for you. And only do as many as you can, comfortably. If you hit fatigue or something hurts, this exercise is absolutely not for everyone. Some people's knees cannot lunge. That's okay. Let's switch sides. Don't worry, we're going to do a squat. And squatting is something that functionally you have to be able to do every day. We'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, we're just working on lunging. So your front leg bends at the knee. Leg is far enough in front of you that your knee doesn't go in front of your toe. Remember, your feet are hip width apart, not one in front of the other. Your back heel is up. you're bending both knees. And then, of course, your torso is straight. Your abdominals are engaged. And you're going up and down. Only do as many as you can. And let's say you're joining me, but you need to stop with this leg and do the other leg. No problem. Torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight. Just as many as you can. If you need to stop, stop. By all means. All right. Come on up to standing. Give me a little march. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is we're going to stand next to the apparatus that is the most stable. So if your chair is the most stable thing you have, you can stand next to that. You can stand next to a wall. What you're going to do is stand slightly in front of your apparatus so that if you need it, you can lean back into it for balance. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have your feet hip width apart, not wide, hip width apart, sort of a neutral stance. Then I'd like you to cross your arms in front of you, and we're going to close our eyes. We're going to shoot for doing this for a minute. So if you lose your balance, I want you to open your eyes, remove your legs, or lean back into your apparatus to feel where you are in space. So again, it can be a wall, it can be a chair, it can be a table or a couch or a washing machine, whatever works for you. You're standing slightly in front of it so that it's there if you need to lean back into it, and you're going to cross those arms. All right, ready, get set, close your eyes. Think about where your feet are in space. Think about what your ankles are doing. Think about how involved your knees are. How about your core? This is where I want you to get your balance from. So think about your core. Think about keeping it engaged. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Your eyes are closed if you can do it. If you need to keep your eyes open, by all means, keep your eyes open. And remember, if you lose your balance, you can lean back into whatever you've got behind you just to feel it behind you. Or you can open your eyes, or you can move your feet so that you are stable again. I do not want anyone falling during this class. That is a big no-no. So you're standing tall with your chest up, your shoulders down, your belly tight. Your knees are still soft. If you find this to be easy, you could add movement. You could move your arms around one at a time or two at a time to challenge you. You could also turn your head from side to side. However, we are done with this exercise. So open your eyes. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put your feet nice and wide. Stand in front of your apparatus. Again, I'm going to be using the wall now. But I'm not touching it. I'm right in front of it. So if I need to lean back, I can. Cross those arms in front of you. Bring your shoulders down. Engage your core. Ready, get set, close your eyes. And then feel, is this easier or harder? Please make sure your knees are unlocked. Don't lock those knees. Lots of people think they're more stable like this. That's great. But sometimes in a wide stance, you might feel less stable front to back. Pay attention to that. Think about those corners on the bottoms of your feet. Think about your core being engaged. Think about where your body position is. Are you leaning back so your hips are coming forward? Bring your torso back up. Are you leaning forward? Bring your torso back up. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. And you're just balancing. Again, if you want to add arm movements, if this is easy for you, you can move your arms in any way that you like, one at a time or two at a time. You can turn that head from side to side. If it makes you dizzy, stop. If you lose your balance, you can lean back into your apparatus or open your eyes or move your feet. All right, our minute is up. March your legs again. Now what we're going to do is have our feet really close together so that our legs are touching. This is a harder position to balance in, so make sure you've got yourself in a position where you can lean back if you need to. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Ready, get set, close your eyes. You can cross your arms, you can have them down at your sides. You could have your fingertips on your apparatus if you have that nearby. If you're leaning back into your chair and your chair is all you have, then you can't put your fingers on it. But you could stand next to the chair if you feel unsafe leaning back into that chair if you need it for balance. This has to work for you. We're working from home. I can't see what you're doing. The most important thing is for you to be safe. Those legs are close together. If you're thinking about the four corners on the bottoms of both feet, do you sway from one foot to the other foot? Is this easy for you? You think about how it feels. Do you go to the front 2 corners and the back 2 corners of both feet? Do you end up shifting on one foot or the other foot? And you could add in arm movement if you want to. You could turn your head from side to side. We're just working on increasing the challenge so that we improve our balance. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, you're not leaning back, you're not leaning forward. Your core is engaged. And we are done. Open your eyes, march your legs again. Okay, now we're going to use that chair. I asked you to have a chair along. We're going to use that chair. And for those of you who weren't comfortable with the lunges, or even for those of you who were, we're all going to squat together now. So you're going to turn your chair so that the seat faces you, and you're going to stand slightly in front of your chair. I might recommend, if you're not used to doing this, that you back up so that your knees touch that chair, because what we're going to do then is we're going to sit down, and then we're going to stand back up. So if you feel safer with the back of your shin, or back of your shins, your calves touching the chair, feel free to do it this way. We're going to lower ourselves down to the chair and raise ourselves back up. If that is a very hard exercise for you, then you could try to get a partner if you don't live alone, and you could hold on to their hands as you lower down or lower and go back up. Or if you have a chair that has arms on it, as long as it doesn't have wheels on it, you could put your hands on those arms, use your arms to help you lower yourself down, and then push up to get back up. It's also very fair to use your thighs to push up, or to use the chair to push up. So join me when you're ready. We're going to sit down and stand back up. Some things to think about. My feet are hip width apart as I go down and up, and my knees do not go in front of my toes as I go down and up. So remember, not cheating if you use your arms of your chair, not cheating if you push off your thighs. If it hurts, you get to stop and take a break. If it doesn't hurt, I want you to go to fatigue. What is fatigue? Fatigue is as many as you can do with good form. We're trying to use our legs and our glutes to lower us and raise us to the chair. If you end up starting to use your upper body or having to do some contortions to get up and down, that's no longer good form, and you get to be done. And the beauty of this one is, when you're done, you get to sit down. All right, give me 2 more if you can. Lower down, stand back up. The importance of this exercise functionally, I just can't tell you how important it is. You need to sit down every day. You need to get up every day. You can practice these chair squats every day whenever you get a chance. Let's say every time you sit down, before you sit down, you do 2 of them. 1, 2, and then you sit down. And then you work your way up to 3, and then 4, and then 5, and so on. Okay, our next balance exercise is actually a stretch. What we're going to do is stretch this area back here. So you're going to take one leg, I don't care which leg it is, and you're going to put it up on the other thigh. Now, that may be something that you can do easily. You may look at me and go, are you crazy? If you're looking at me going, are you crazy? You're going to put your other leg out in front of you, and you're going to put your ankle on your shin, or maybe further up your shin, or maybe just above your knee. And if you can do that, eventually you'll want to try to gently pull that leg in. It doesn't have to bend a lot. It could be here. It could be way out here. We're looking to stretch this area here, this area here. You might feel this in your knee. Depending on your level of flexibility, you might be able to, and I'm going to turn so you can see me from the front now, you might be able to get this leg flat. Mine doesn't get completely flat. Some people can't. You might be way up here and think, how on earth are you doing that? It's just that I'm a little bit more flexible than you, and that's okay. Another objective with this stretch is to try to stand as straight as you can. If you're thinking, well, I can't push my knee down, but I can't stand straight, then I would work, or sit straight, I would work on trying to sit straight more than pushing that knee down. If your back gets tired, if you're out walking a bunch, a lot of us are out walking nowadays, this is a great stretch to do when you get home, or if you see a park bench and you need to sit down and stretch your low back, this is a great stretch for your low back. You just have a seat, put your ankle on your thigh, or again, you might not be able to get that ankle on the thigh, you can put it down low and slowly but surely work your way up to thigh, and then slowly but surely work your way into bringing that leg in. This can help to make the low back feel better when you're out walking a lot. All right, let's switch sides. So you're going to put that foot down, and you're going to bring this leg up. You might find that one leg is tighter than the other. Looking at me, you can see my left leg is tighter than my right. That's okay. I have 2 different sides. Maybe that's why I'm stronger here. Who knows? But remember, if you can't get that leg up, you're not trying to keep up with anybody else. You're just going to straighten out the other leg and put your top leg on the ankle, the shin, and then eventually you can work your way up, and then eventually you can bend your leg. Your torso is tall as you can get it. Your shoulders are down. If you find this to be easy and you can get that leg flat, I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see me. I can't get my leg flat, but I can demonstrate this. Okay, I'm sitting up as tall as I can, right? If you want, you can lean forward from your hips. I don't want you to round your back. I want you to keep those hips level and gently lean forward. This is as far as I go. You might be able to lie down on that flat leg. Great, good for you. That's wonderful for you. You've got different flexibility than I do. You might still not be able to get that leg anywhere near the top of your thigh, and you may need to be way down here thinking, really, there's someone that flexible? That's okay. That's not your body. You need to do what's best for you. And yes, I'm sitting here blabbing through this, so we hold it for a while, so we stretch out those muscles. All right, the next stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. And what we're going to do is stretch out the back of our thigh. Every step we take, we push off with these muscles and these muscles. We're going to stretch these at the end, but these muscles need stretching right now. So you're going to take that leg and put it out in front of you. See how I'm sitting on the front of my chair? Sit towards the front of your chair, but not so far forward that you're going to fall off or tip the chair. And then you're going to straighten out one leg. Sit tall. Some of you, this may be plenty of a stretch. I'm pretty close to having it be enough of a stretch. Some of you can lay down on your thigh. Good for you. You're going to bend forward from your hips, not rounding your back. So you're going to lean forward gently from your hips, keeping your back as flat as you can. I don't want you to round that back and say, oh, look, I can touch my toes, because you're just stretching these muscles back here and not getting your hamstring stretched as much. So you're going to sit tall and reach down your leg. If you can grab your toes with your back flat, terrific. I can't. We're all different. So you're just stretching the back of your thigh. You might feel it on the back of your shin. If you want, you could pull your toe a little closer towards you. That's called flexing your foot, and that can give you a bit more of a stretch. These muscles get very tight and they pull our hips up underneath us. So stretching is as important a part of balance as the balance exercises, as the strengthening exercises like the lunges and the squats. They all work together to help you with your balance. All right, let's switch sides. The other leg's going out. Your torso is tall. You're going to pull your toes towards your head, sit straight, and then if you can gently lean forward from your hips, not rounding your back. Remember, keep that back as straight as you can. Once again, you might notice one leg is tighter than the other. Not a surprise. Our two sides are different. If you are right-handed, you leverage off your left leg all the time. If you are left-handed, you tend to leverage off your right leg all the time. That's just the way it works. If you go to open something, you leverage off the back leg. So the leg that is your dominant leg, or the one that you leverage off of, might be tighter than the other leg. It also could be looser. It might be stronger. It might be better balanced. But work on your flexibility for the leg that you're stretching right now. Once again, I'm blabbing through it, so we hold that stretch for a nice long time. Those toes are pulled up. Feeling that stretch, you're going to move this leg out of the way on the back of your thigh, and maybe even down on your calf. Facing your leg, you're going to gently lean forward. All right, come on up to standing. Our next stretch, I mentioned we would do another stretch. We're going to do a calf stretch next. That's the leg you often pull off of as well, or push off with, not pull off. You push off with your calf every step you take, so we're going to stretch those now. So you're going to take one leg and put it back behind you as far as you can. You're going to get that leg as straight as you can. Your front leg is going to bend. This heel will be down. I'd like you to roll your shoulders back and down, get your torso tall, and we're stretching the top part of the calf of the leg that is back. Now you're going to bend that knee slightly. I work on this stretch a lot, so it looks like I'm bending my knee a lot. Your knee may not bend as much. This is an area that people are really tight that they don't think to stretch very often. People will often do a calf stretch with that leg straight, but I want you to try and add in a bent leg. We're hitting a slightly different muscle. The cool thing is both of those muscles attach through your Achilles tendon. They attach down on your heel. All right, let's switch sides. I'm going to turn this way now so you can see my front leg again. So one leg goes back. That leg is straight, that heel is down. Roll your shoulders back and down, tighten your belly. Hold on to something if you need to for balance. You can do this sideways to your apparatus, but then you won't see both of my legs. So I'm going to do it this way. Leg is straight to start, stretching the top part of the calf. Now we're going to bend that leg. Keeping that heel down. Can you see my heel? Keeping that heel down as best you can. So you're stretching that soleus muscle. It's deeper and lower down your leg than the gastroc, which you stretch when you're straight. Make sure your chest is up, your shoulders are down, keep your belly tight for balance. And notice you can even work on balance while you're doing your stretches, but make sure you have something nearby so that you don't fall. All right. The next exercise that we're going to do is called Stop It. This is the one that Marlene told me her body just reacted the other day, and her leg went out to stop her from falling. So we're going to try it in a few different directions. I'm going to move my chair a little bit just so that I have a little more space. Okay, so the Stop It exercise is basically you lift a foot up and you put it down and say stop it. You can say it loudly, you can say it quietly, stop. Stop it. Stop. Why do we practice this? Remember, you can have your apparatus nearby to hold on to if you need to, because we want to get your body used to being able to stop a fall. So let's say you're walking outside and you didn't pick those toes up enough and you trip over a curb or a crick in the sidewalk, you can stop your fall. Stop. So we're practicing it to the front. Stop. With one leg. One more. Stop. Okay, now let's do the other leg. Pretend you've tripped. Stop. Come back up. Pretend you've tripped. Stop. Come back up. Pretend you've tripped. Stop. Come back up. So you can say stop. You can say stop it. Stop that fall. Stop it. Stop it. Practice that stop. Okay, now stop it. We're going to try it to the side. So pretend you're falling to the side and say stop. Stop. You may feel more stable doing one than another. Stop. You can yell it out so that your neighbor's hearing it. Stop, so that you don't fall. Practicing this stop exercise, believe it or not, gets your body trained in a controlled environment to stop that fall. Stop. Two more. Stop. And stop. Now we're going to do the other leg. Stop. Out to the side. Stop. Stop. You're in control. You're paying attention. Stop. You're training your body to stop a fall to the other side now, whether it's your right or your left. We'd stopped a fall to the front. Now we're stopping a fall to the side. Remember to say stop. Don't forget to say stop. So your brain is trained to stop. When you start to fall, you stop. Okay, now we're going to do it backwards. Practicing the backwards one, I would like you to be holding on to something so that you can step back, but have something to hold on to, and we're going to stop. Move up a little bit more. Stop. Actually, I'm going to face this way. Stop. Stop. If you feel super stable and you don't have to hold on, I'm okay with that as long as you feel stable. Don't forget to say stop. As I'm talking, it's hard for me to say stop all the time because stop, I'm talking. But I want you to stop. Every time you step back, say stop. Like you're falling backwards, stop. Like you're falling backwards, stop. Now remember, I could feel better if you were holding on to something when you did your stops so that you don't fall. But you want to think about stopping every time you bring that leg back, stop. Okay, other leg, stop. You're falling backwards, stop. You're falling backwards, stop. Again, you can be holding on to your apparatus, stop. Or you don't have to, stop. But I only want you to be safe, stop. Bring that leg back and stop the fall. Whew, I'm falling, stop. Stop. Practice that stop. Forward, backward, and sideways. And believe it or not, you are working on balance as you do this. Stop. Stop. Maybe you're thinking, Karen, please stop talking, because I'm practicing stopping when I step back. Stop. All right, let's march in place again. Okay, so we've practiced the stop it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick something up off of the floor. Why are we doing that? Because you have to pick things up off of the floor sometimes. And I want you to pick something up off of the floor with good form. So, for example, let's say I drop that on the floor. And I think, I need to pick it up. There are several ways that you can pick it up. But the important thing to think about is to get close to it and then pick it up. So this is a squat pickup. You're going to bend down with both knees, bend down, pick it up. Oops, I dropped it again. Boy, it's kind of far in front of me now. So I'm going to step forward. You can't even see it. It's so far in front of me. Okay, let's say it's there and it's kind of far away from me, I am going to get close to it so that I can pick it up. Because leaning over like this can hurt your back. So get close to whatever it is, whether it's light or heavy, to pick it up. If it's heavy, the heavier the object, let's say you've got, let's pretend this is a brick, and there's a brick on the ground and I need to pick it up. First of all, I'm going to get close to it, spread my feet hip width apart. I'm going to practice that squat that I do. Tush goes back, knees stay behind the toes. I'm going to bend down. I might need two arms, and I'm going to pick it up. So we talked about how those chair squats were functional. Now you can see it. Now let's say you picked it up off of the ground here, but you need to put it over here. You're going to get close to where you need to put it, and then you're going to put it down. I don't want you to pick it up over here and then lean and put it over here. I want you to turn, walk over to the place that you're close to it, and put it back down. If you need to pick it up again, get close to it and pick it up that way. So that is the squat pickup. The other pickup they call the golfer's pickup. I'll call it a lunge pickup, which would be if it was on the ground, I would bend over, put one leg back to pick it up, like so, and then stand up. Now, you might look at me and go, well, that's crazy. That's too hard for me to do. That's okay. You can do the squat pickup. But for some of you, the squat pickup, you've got a knee that doesn't have the flexibility to bend down. So for you, the golfer's pickup or the lunge pickup is better. And of course, you could do it with one leg. But if that leg doesn't, if this leg doesn't bend for you, then guess what? You're going to do it with the other leg. You're going to reach back and get it. So you put the leg behind you, you reach down. Notice you can brace your hand on your thigh. Try to keep your back as flat as you can, bend down, and pick it up. So those are ways to pick things up. You've got your squat pickup, and you've got your lunge pickup. So I'm going to lunge and pick it up with this leg, and I'm going to put it down this way, and I'm going to lunge pick up with this leg. Remember, you can use your hand on your thigh. Different options for picking things up off the floor. Sometimes they have to get picked up. Now, you might have a pole at home. One of my students, Luba, has a pole. So she may say, Paul, can you pick that up for me? Terrific. If you have a pole at home, wonderful, use your pole. But if you don't, you can practice your squat pickup and your lunge pickup or your golfer's pickup with either leg. And again, if one knee hurts, you can't do that squat pickup, then you do your golfer's pickup. Okay, next on our agenda, we're going to work on that squat position while we change where we're reaching. So we're going to change where we're reaching. You'll notice I'm putting more weight on the leg that is to the side that I'm reaching. So let's say you need to get something off of a shelf, but you can't get all that close to it. You've got to reach up high to get it. So you're going to reach and practice that high reach to get something off of a shelf. And you'll notice you're shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Now let's say you're going straight in front of you. Then you are going to bend those knees a little bit and reach in front of you. So let's practice reaching in front, reaching to the side, reaching in front, reaching to the other side, reach to the front, reach to the side. But remember, if you need to get something, get as close to it as you can, and then do your reach. But sometimes you might be in a tight space where you have to reach to the side. That's okay. We are practicing that reach. You might reach with one arm. You might reach with both arms. Just practice your reaching. One side, the other side, to the front, to the other side. You can shift your weight from one foot to the other. You can keep your weight on both feet. Practice that reach. Practice your balance. Think about your core staying engaged. Try to not use these muscles, but use your legs to stabilize you and reach with your arms. Reach with those arms. All right, we are done with that exercise. Let's see what else I want to do. Oh, I haven't done the step over yet. One of my favorite exercises. You know how we did the lift the toe and lift? Well, now what we're going to do is I want you to lift your toe, lift your leg up, step to the side, lift your toe, lift your leg up, step to the side. Now, it's a great idea to use your chair for balance for this exercise, so I'll demonstrate from the side. I'm going to lift and reach and then lift and bring over, but I've got my chair here to help me balance, and then I'm going to step over bend. So you're stepping, one foot leads, the other foot follows, but both feet have to lift up. Then the second foot will lead this time, and that first foot will follow. So you're lifting and stepping over a puddle, or a dog, or a toy, or a shoe, Who knows what you might be stepping over? You might be stepping over some mud on the ground if it rained a lot, and that mud could be slippery. So you could even practice and say stop as you put that foot down. You reach over and you say stop, and then you bring your other leg to it. Reach over and over. And if you can try it with just your fingertips on the chair, great. And if this is something that's easy for you and you can do it without having to hold on to anything, that's okay too. But it's still important to practice. How high can you lift that leg? You might have to step over something quite large, or you might have to step quite far. Can you practice that? Again, feel free to use your apparatus. You can't really see what I'm doing through the chair, but you kind of can. Step. Step. You might have to step far. All right, now we're going to try it stepping forward. So you're going to step over something forward and then bring the leg with you. Then step back with that leg first and back. Now, if back isn't good for you, don't do it. You can just step forward and then do the same leg again, forward and forward. So let's lead with the same leg every time for a while. Step forward, step back, again, forward, and back. But remember, you can be doing forward, turn around, forward. The beauty of it is, it doesn't matter what the other students are doing because you can't see them. So you're either practicing forward, or you're practicing forward and then back with the same leg leading each time. Now we're going to switch legs. So now you use the other leg to go forward, and maybe then go forward, or you're going forward, and then back. Lifting the leg up so you can step over something. We are practicing balance by stepping over something. Practice your balance. Lift, and back. Lifting that leg up as high as you comfortably can. And remember, we talked before about reaching far. You could also try reaching far ahead of you. And remember, you don't have to be doing the back. You can be doing the forward. And once you get confident with that, maybe you could try the forward and the back. Same leg is leading. And we are done with our challenging exercises. One more for you to work on, which is going to be, we're going to stretch out that upper back. So I want you to bring your arms in front of you. I want you to round that upper back. This is our stretching exercise for the end. And come back up. And let's do it again. Round that back. Now, if you feel like sitting down, you can sit down and do the stretch. You have a seat. Reach those arms in front of you and round your back. But you could also do it standing. Round that back. Now I'd like everyone to come and have a seat. I'm going to face you on my seat. So you get to sit down. We're going to round that back. And then what I'd like you to do is reach down and hug your legs as best you can. Try to just rest in that position. And then come on up. And I want you to spread your legs wide, push those knees out, and gently come down in between. Stretching out your inner thigh, your hamstring a little bit again. Stretching out that low back again. And come on up. Give yourselves a hand. Make sure when you stand up, your knees don't go in front of your toes. I know I'm always teaching. Have a wonderful day. Stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy. And remember, you can practice these balance exercises anytime, any day. Have a great one.